So it was another totally chaotic day at the Copenhagen UN climate negotiations, with people arriving from all over the world, thousands standing in line trying to get in, and incredible and sometimes bizarre conversations going on inside. Unfortunately, in terms of the actual negotiations, there's really not that much to report. There's a real gridlock happening in the negotiations, and a lot of people say that we're not going to see a break in that gridlock until some positions seriously change, including Canada's. So speaking of Canada's, Maclean's is reporting today an amazing article that you guys should take a look at, in which they say suddenly everyone hates Canada. And we found out one of the good reasons why that's happening today when CBC released a leaked document. So this is a secret document that analyzes Canadian policy. And there's two things that drive me crazy about it. One is the fact that it's a secret document about our own climate policy. So here we are at the United Nations. We've been waiting for our government to give us something, some laws that would reduce emissions, some policies that tell us that they're going to show climate leadership. We haven't seen it, and now we get it in a secret document. And there's a lot you should know about this document, but probably the most important thing is that in the document, the government is proposing reducing the requirements for reducing emissions on mining, on heavy industry, and the oil and gas industry 3 times lower than they were in the government's already weak plan from 2008. So here we are at the most important conversation on Earth. And every country is talking about how to reduce pollution, and Canada is talking about how to grow global warming emissions. It was another embarrassing day to be Canadian in Copenhagen. So let me give you some bright side of things. Went to Governor Schwarzenegger's big speech. It was great. It was really inspiring. And I think an interesting proposal that he made is that we should have a UN summit for provinces and states and cities. And the fact is, there is a lot happening at that level, and there's a lot happening in Canada at that level. Went to hear the Premier of British Columbia speak, and Premier Charest, and they were talking about what we're doing in Canada at the provincial level. We're reducing emissions. Obviously BC has the first of North America's economy-wide carbon tax. So there is stuff to be hopeful for. There is stuff that we should be proud of as Canadians, but it certainly wasn't here in the negotiations from our federal government today. And the final thing that I wanted to tell you about is today Power Up Canada and Green Cross International released a letter to the Prime Minister. And we wrote asking the Prime Minister not to be so defeatist, to really work to make Canada, in these negotiations, to assure that Canada builds a clean economy. It's a very powerful letter. I hope you read it on our blog. And the exciting thing is we sent it around and asked for people to sign on to it. Former Prime Minister Kim Campbell is now signed on to it. The President Gorbachev is signed on to it. Margaret Atwood, Jan Martel, business leaders like Avram Lazar, the CEO of the Forest Products Council, an incredible list of dignitaries, celebrities, and opinion leaders. So I urge you to take a look at it, and don't forget to send your own letter to the Prime Minister as well. Thanks a lot. See you tomorrow.